Okay, I think we should be live now. I'm just going to check my computer. But hi, I'm Megan. For those of you who don't know, we're in the Mo Creations kitchen, and today we're going to be making bacon mac and cheese waffles from our new book, Simply Delicious, that is coming out really soon. So I'm just going to have a quick check and see that you can hear me. You should be able to hear me nice and clearly. Awesome, we're there. I'm just going to get rid of that question because it throws everyone for a bit of a loop. Okay, so yes, our new book, Simply Delicious, is coming out next week, or do you say this week? It will be out on the 21st of September, which is Wednesday, our Wednesday in the Southern Hemisphere, and it will be going for pre-sale. So yeah, super excited, and I thought I'd just jump on and show you a little glimpse into one of the recipes from the book and answer any questions that anybody's got. So as I said, we're going to be making bacon mac and cheese waffles. I thought it would be something that would just be a bit of fun to show you live. It's using the waffle maker, but I will give you heaps of tips that if you don't have one, on how you can make them just as delicious without one. The waffle maker I'm actually using today is $20 from Kmart, so it's not an expensive one. It's a great little appliance that you can put in your waffles, spin them around, cook them really nice and evenly, and give you really nice crispy waffles. I actually use mine quite a bit, and I will be showing more videos over the coming months of different things in there, so that'll be a bit of fun anyway. But yeah, I've had mine for a little while, and I do put it to a bit of good use. Okay, so everybody can hear what I'm saying, I'm guessing. Hi, Robin. Hi, Susan. We might get straight into it. And if anybody's got any questions regarding the new book, just pop them in the thread and I'll see what I can do. So I've got all my ingredients here. The first part of this recipe, so basically the ingredients in this recipe is like cauliflower as your mac, bacon, cheese, eggs. It has seasoning, so you can use any kind of seasoning that you want. I am using, I thought I had it out here today. I'm using my ranch seasoning. For those of you who follow me would know that I use ranch a lot. But you can use any store-bought ones that you prefer, like if you've got your Mingler seasonings, any of those ones will go into it. And you can even just season it with salt and pepper. I thought, just for a bit of fun, which I have not even tested myself, that I might try them with some different flavors. So one of the recipes in Simply Delicious is a Thai curry paste. So I've got a Thai curry paste, so we'll add a little bit to some of the mixture and see how a curry waffle comes out. I've got some Asian veggie stock concentrate, which would be really nice in it too. If you're going to use any stock concentrates to flavour foods, which I love using them, to be honest, start small first. So like 1/4 teaspoon is usually like to 1/4 cup of stock. So if you're not adding water to something like this, we're not adding any water, I would start around 1/4 teaspoon and then just add more. So like you can always taste things as you're making them and just add that little bit extra. And I've also got this, this was sent to me from Bunsters and 99th Monkey. It's called Shit to Bed Peanut Butter. It's a hot peanut butter, obviously, with a name like that. And I thought, not only would this be nice in a mac and cheese waffle, but it'd be really nice on it. So that would be a bit of fun. And another product that I just found in my fridge is one that I actually bought from a local business called Whole Food Family, and it's wild fermented kimchi. So these waffles could be done as pancakes, they could be done as muffins, they could be done in a large cast iron skillet as a large pancake or something like that. You know how you even cook like Yorkshire puddings and you put like oil in your little tiny little muffin pans and you heat that at high heat and then pop your mixture in, flip it over? I reckon this would work perfect in that as well too. So here's some great little ideas for everybody to try at home. Okay, so the only thing that I've pre-prepped for this recipe is it just takes a little bit of steamed cauliflower. Now what I did with this cauliflower, I'll just show you. It's still got the cling film on it. I can get it off. It's a good one. Sticking to my fingers and everything as well. So I say just to cut it into tiny florets. So you can see these are, just bite-sized pieces. You can do it as fine or as chunky as you want. And when I do mine, I've given you a few instructions for you in the book, because if you've had any of my recipes before, you do know I'm kind of the queen of multiple methods on how to cook things. But the way I like to do it for this is I just simply put it in this bowl, put 1 to 2 tablespoons of water, put that cling film over, popped it in my microwave at 650 watts, so like a medium high, and cooked it for 2 minutes. It's still got a little bit of resistance, like a little bit of bite to it. It's not like soft and soggy, but I find that adds that perfect kind of pasta al dente sort of feel in the waffles. So that's a really simple move. So if I was doing this all the way through, I could do a few things just to try and do it all in the one bowl as well. But that is the only thing that I've done, pre-done. Oh, and I just have, which I would do this normally before I like while that was in the microwave, is it has softened cream cheese and sour cream or cream, which I actually used a combination. So the good thing is when I give you alternatives for some ingredients, it means the beauty of it is that if you are low on some of the ingredients and you go to your fridge like I did, and I only had 180 grams of sour cream, and this recipe takes 250, I added the extra 70 of the double cream, which was another alternative that's in the recipe. So I've added that and the cream cheese, which was just 5 tablespoons of cream cheese, in here because the cream cheese had to be pre-softened. So I just got it out and stirred it so that I wasn't going to have chunks, because while I give you this recipe, I give you mixing methods, and I'm actually just going to do this completely in a bowl today. So I'm going to have a few bowls just because I've not pre-prepped, but got all the ingredients out. But you could do this all in one bowl at home, okay? So my cauliflower's done. I'm just going to melt some butter. So to melt butter, if you don't have a microwave, you can obviously do that on the stove, or you could also use some light tasting oil if you prefer that. So the light tasting olive oil. Great t-shirt. Yes, I'm very simply delicious. I'm actually looking at a huge banner right beside the camera as well. So we've got our banners, we've got some wrapping paper for some of our special cookbooks. We've got some shirts, quite a few shirts that we've had made in an apron. I've got my mock-up book. So our books obviously aren't here yet. We're still going through edits and the designs, but they will go into print in about a week and a half. So yeah, it's going to be a very pretty book. It's a whole different look for us, but it is also, I'm also going to change the style of how I'm going to do books. So yeah, we've got a fair bit of Simply Delicious stuff, and you'll notice that there is one word that's missing from the cookbook title that I've been using for years, and that's keto. The recipes in this book, I think from memory, the maximum one is around 8 or 9 grams net carbs. I will put it in the book title, but essentially this, yeah, that's melted. This book is still the same sort of net carbs and macros ballpark of all of my other books. So they're all still keto recipes. Just find keto's lost its shine for some people. I don't want people to have that feeling that they have to be keto to eat any of our recipes. I think because I do really work hard to try and do real food recipes, not try and make imitations of things now, and I don't want to diss anybody that does that, because obviously I've done, you know, imitation Mars bar, but, you know, creating different things out of different flours that aren't something like French fries, for instance. I don't think somebody who would eat normal French fries would like a keto French fry, if you know what I mean. But somebody who eats normal pork ribs, like our cover picture, will eat our pork ribs. You know, they won't even notice that there's all that sugar removed from the brown sugar glazes, the barbecue sauce sugar, and sugar's usually in the rubs and that as well too. So I think for me, I wanted to reach a broader audience for people who just want to eat healthier, not eat as much crap, but love really, really good food, because that's what I've always been about. While we do try and do some alternatives to some of the recipes that we can't have, like I said, particularly in sweets, I don't tend to put those kind of ones into my cookbooks now. I do cakes and stuff like that, but there's all, you know, to me, the only real difference in our cakes is just the sweetener, and we always say you can use any sweetener. So if you like sugar. You can eat sugar. But, you know, a lot of people do eat almond flour-based cakes anyway. So we've got our melted butter. Let's get these things on and we can chat a little bit more. And I'll have a look. Just remember any questions you've got, because it's only 3 days till we go live with this book. And, you know, you might have some questions about it. And when it goes live, I won't have the time to answer it. So basically, everything is going to go into the one bowl. So we've got melted butter. We've got what I'm saying is my mac, which is the cauliflower. And for anyone who hates cauliflower, you've got to try some of my recipes. I do have a mac and cheese that's just a baked one, not waffles or anything like that, on our website. And it's in our Healthy Family Cookbook. Try it. Like, I am not a huge cauliflower fan, but that is one recipe. People have seen me share photos of it plenty of times that I repeat in my own household because I love it so much. So it's just less of that cauliflower funky taste and more about flavour. And again, it's just to do with the seasonings that I feel that you put in that make it taste so much different, much more different. So I've just got some almond meal. So it's just I'm just looking down at the recipe. It's just 80 grams of almond meal in this one. And we've got some whey protein isolate, and I've given you a couple of options for this, but I like this in a waffle, and the reason being is because it makes it really light and it makes it really crispy. If you've made, say, our pancakes as a waffle before, they're still soft, but if you add whey protein isolate, it crisps it up. If you can't have the whey protein isolate itself, but still have cheese, use pea protein isolate. Okay, and then we've got our ranch seasoning, which I've just put some aside here. Normally everything's not wrapped up like this, but I was doing a video because we actually got, as a surprise, we've got some video content attached to the book as well. So today I was actually videoing the buns, which are behind me. So you can see we've got our subs and beautiful subs and some buns. And I was videoing how to make them. And again, it's the videos weren't that the recipes are difficult. It's just that people understand more so what a consistency is like. I find that's the main thing that trips people up there. If, say, they're making one of our breads, they expect it to be like normal flour dough or something like that. Like, it's not the same. So yeah, it's just, while I was doing that, I just got all the ingredients ready. So, and that's some baking powder. For those of you who follow would know that I always use a double-acting baking powder that's aluminium-free. There's a couple of reasons behind that, and that's because, well, one, we're not using gluten. We're also not using rising agents or rice flours and stuff like that, grain flours and that as well. That can also help force rise. We all know that tapioca and stuff like that will force rise, or rice flours and gluten-free flours always tend to rise just the same in breads as far as I'm concerned. We don't have those additional carbs for anything to consume to get bigger and that as well. So the double acting helps to force rise in when liquid is added and also when heat is added, so it gets double acting. But it's also aluminium free. So some of the ones that might be double acting may have the aluminium or bitter taste, and the Bob's Red Mill one that I use does not. I'm just going to put a pinch of salt in there. I think that's in it. Okay, so I did the baking powder. I have done some, I hope that was in there, xanthan gum and some ranch seasoning. So that was the next bits that I put in there. So then I've got this mess over here. I'm just going to pop in my eggs and some jalapenos. So I've just got some chopped jalapenos. If you don't like jalapenos, don't pop them in. One whole egg. Ta-da! Megan can crack an egg. And get some on herself. And did I have anything else here? No. The thing is because when you stick all these other ingredients around, you are at a risk of missing something. And because I've been cooking all afternoon, I do forget stuff. Like, honestly, when I was cooking the rolls before, I did 2 batches. Because I still just double test everything. And I thought, okay, well, I'll do a 4 and I'll do a 6. To show the different sizes for the video and that as well too, because we give you, options to make bigger ones or smaller ones depending on, your macros or what you want to get out of the recipe, for instance. I tested both the second time around, I like nearly forgot the psyllium husk, which would have ended in disaster, but it was still there when I was cleaning up as I was going along. Okay, let's get all that out, and then I know that there's nothing behind. The only thing I have left to do is just chop some bacon. So if you're vegetarian and you don't want to eat the bacon, you can leave that out. Here's my bacon. This recipe, if you don't want bacon, you could use anything. Like I've got some roast pork that's in the fridge. I could use that. I've got shredded chicken. I've got that kimchi. You know, you could add anything like mushrooms. So basically I'm just going to chop this bacon off, line her up, cut off all those rinds. So I have said to use rindless bacon, just for the simplicity. But if you get this, you can always just chop off your rinds, render that down later if you like. Use it in something else. Make crispy rinds if you want. Okay, so now you see how I cut. So I basically just make them all the same size. And then I'm just going to slice it. And we're going to add that in just as it is. You can do it crispy if you want to. I don't have a problem with the cured bacon just going in. And that's going in. So yeah, any kind of meats could go in this, any kind of vegetables could go in this, any leftovers could go in this. Seafood. If you were going to use seafood, I would cook it first in this particular instance. Alrighty, and now we're just going to mix it. Now, I haven't done this manually, so it better mix properly, because I know it makes a nice stiff batter when I just whiz it up in the thermi anyway. So if you were making this at home, how would you make it? In a bowl? Because this is a good idea to ask these sort of questions so I can see like what kind of instructions I'm doing in the future. Would you do it in a bowl? Would you do it with a mixer? So like you could do this with a mixer and then just, you know, fold in your bacon and your cauliflower. Use a thermi, some kind of, you know, food processor, or a good old, you know, upper body workout. Get out, as I always say, like these stiff spatulas, like amazing. So I'm just doing this till I can see that it looks nice and even. We don't have, you know, clumps of whey protein or almond meal. But you can see it's a really stiff, chunky looking batter. So as I said, like you could do this in anyway, you could do this like as a whole bake. So you don't have one of those, you don't have a chapel maker or something like that, and you don't want to make it this way. There is so many different ways you could make this, and I would love to see everybody's versions of them. Like I can see, you know, those little breadstick baking trays, like I said, muffins. If you've got any of these kind of, I think, pie maker, so you could put it in a pie maker and just like bake it as a whole pie. The sausage roll makers, we can do it in one of them. What other things could we actually use it on? Great cutting board, by the way, just saying. Dave created cutting board right here. So yeah, it's yeah, I love the idea of getting at this gadgetry, and that's why I said, like, what I'm going to start to do is focus on some of my appliances before I toss them one day, mainly because of room, and show you different ways to use your waffle maker and things like that, because they can be used for so much. And that's what I just said, like, you know, just this one recipe, think of all the appliances that you've got that cook little things or whatever, or even pans. So like I said, we could do this as like a whole, say a 20 centimetre diameter cast iron pan, or your casserole dishes like your Baccarats, your Le Creuset, your Staubs, whatever brand, and then just put it in the pan, like with a little bit of butter in the pan on the gas, heat a little bit, pop it into the oven, finish it off in the oven. Perfect. Now, let's just see what temperature we've got it. I never even look at these things, whatever it is, but I wiped that over before I got on here. I'm like, now I don't know. Oops. But we'll be able to judge that temperature. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So let me run through the ingredients for you, because you can make this at home, okay? So we've got 1 cup of cauliflower, 120 grams of cauliflower cut into tiny little florets. We've got 80 grams of butter, 3 ounces. Now, that's one thing I should say. So if you are imperial or metric, US customary, we have the measures for everything in there. For our macros are also calculated based on the ingredients listed and the servings, and I write that on there. So in here I say it makes 12 waffles and it's per waffle. When I say it makes 12 waffles, it makes 12 third of a cup waffles. I'm pretty sure that's what we're, yep, third of a cup of batter. So you can get as close to those macros as possible. Of course, more bacon could be in one and the macros won't be there, but it's just giving you a more accurate measure in the way that we're not saying use 3 rashers of bacon. We all know bacon can come in sizes like this thin, this thick, all different ones. So I'm actually trying to give you, funnily enough, I'm looking at that and it doesn't have a weight on this one. But I'm trying to give you specific weights so that you can get closer to what we're making in that as well and make the same kind of ingredient, same kind of recipe. So we've got 2/3 of a cup of almond meal, which is 80 grams. We've got 1 cup of whey protein isolate, which is 90 grams. We've got 1 teaspoon of ranch, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum, 5 tablespoons of cream cheese, and I just used the cheapest stuff because, my God, how expensive is cream cheese becoming? 1 cup of sour cream or double cream, 1 egg, 1 cup of shredded cheddar. You can use mozzarella, you can use Mexican cheddar, you could put feta in here, you could grate halloumi in here, you could not have any cheese if you don't want it, you could add a little bit of nutritional yeast. That is all completely up to you. I've basically said, like, have fun with that in the way of changing some of the ingredients around to make it vegetarian or whatever. It even said to swap the bacon for pickled mushrooms. Haven't had any in ages, but God, I used to love those on the Baker's Delight buns. 1 egg, I said the egg, 3 rashers of bacon and 2 tablespoons of pickled jalapenos. And again, if you don't like chilies, don't like jalapenos, don't put them in. Okay, and then we mix it all up. I haven't seasoned it. I think with everything that's going to go into it and that or whatever, you can taste one if you'd like. You make one, taste it, then see what you've got, what you want to add to it. So like I said, it would be a 1/3 measure, and I'm just going to show you a little trick. You might have seen some of the photos that I do, and I find if you do a whole, and when I say like waffles too, I should put in the diameter, but they're not huge. You can see in the pictures anyway. Is that going to come out? So what you do, I'm using my finger here, but I'll get a spatula in a second, is I basically put it in the center of this. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit more on there because we can already see this is like heaps for Dave and I. Okay, so I just pop it in the center. It doesn't have to be even or anything. This one is one of those ones that spin. I actually have a couple of these. I think you need to spin first and then you lock it into position. And it can do that, but it doesn't make any difference. We'll just put it back there. Stay there. Yeah, you can have different models of the waffles and stuff like that. But what I do is I put it into the center. I don't put it all the way out to the edge. So then you get those nice kind of smaller waffles. So like, not like a chaffle. They're kind of bigger than a chaffle because they also get higher than our chaffle maker at least anyway. But by doing that, you just get a nice little shape where if they go all the way to the side, you can still do that. You'll actually have perfect wedges. Great way to divide it up and know exactly what you're having for meal planning. But yeah, if you want it decorative, just dollop it in the middle, pop it down, cook it for a couple of minutes, and you're right to go. Now I'm going to have a quick look at questions because this is really easy. But what then I'll do is I'll divide some up and we'll try some of the different flavors. I've got another one here. Sauces, because you could do this with dips. So like we've got, for your packaged ones, there's different sugar-free maple syrups on the market now. So the beauty of writing cookbooks now is there's so many more products available in supermarkets and from our great Aussie suppliers and global suppliers that I don't have to create a recipe for every single thing that I use. So we've got Lakanto sugar-free maple syrup. We've got Natvia sugar-free maple syrup. And we've got sucre maple syrup. So great syrups that you could still serve with it, even though it's savoury. Something savoury and sweet and salty is all good together. In the book, we've actually got a kick-ass delicious steak sauce. So the steak sauce is like incredible. So this would probably be one that I would serve it with. And as I said, I reckon with this particular swear word, the bed, peanut butter, I would heat it up a little bit so you could pour it over it. But you could also add just a little bit of oil. So if you add some MCT oil or light flavoured oil to a little bit of the peanut butter and just whisk it a little bit to make it runnier so you can pour it all over. These would also be great like for sandwiches, toasties. I'm just going to leave that on there. Turn it up, and I think it's got to get turned up a bit. Normally I would spray that, and I didn't get any spray oil, and it's over there, so I hope it comes out. I would normally spray the first one because I always find that the fats release from the next one, so God help me, now I'm starting to feel anxious that it won't come out. But anyway, I'm going to have a quick look at your questions before we divide that up and just try some of the other flavours in there, and hopefully our first one will come out. And you'll see, like, I should actually show that. Hopefully this fixes itself. But when that usually happens, that means it's just not cooked. And you'll find that it will stick better together once it's, now it's staying up the right way, once it's cooked. Because it's like if you've made chaffles before, like you'll open it up and it'll be like, here's half a chaffle and here's half a chaffle. But if you cook them long enough, they actually go crispy on the outside and actually stick together. So we're hoping that we've put everything in there and got it all right. Let's have a quick look at some of these comments. Has anyone got any questions? I'm just going to click on there because then I might be able to see the questions. You only have a TM31, Janice? That's fine. Like, honestly, nothing. I don't think there was any even recipes in here that we put a little liquid in to go up to the top. The main thing with Simply Delicious is the books were along the same vein as Keto Mojo. So basically, I've done this as an extension of Keto Mojo, in that they're simple recipes that are mainly meals. So the book itself has 45 meals that you would eat as a meal, plus salads, plus desserts, plus basics and stuff like that as well too. So there is a lot of food in there. But yeah, for any sizes of any kind of thermi cookers and stuff like that, you can still use your TM31 because we've got testers of all different sizes. I actually left this here too. I don't know if you can even see it on screen. I know a lot of people with thermies and that tend to have people that stick ones back that haven't been put together and that as well. I have kind of made it my own rule that if I haven't put it, a bowl back together or whatever, I put the lid in the hole. So it's always like a, do not pass go until you've actually put the jug together and it goes on. So it's a good way, and a lid's always quick and easy to clean compared to the bowl. So if you could just quickly wash it up, dry it up and put it in there, then no one will be able to stick it on there. And if you tell everybody in the family that that's your little, you're not allowed to stick it on there until you put it together kind of rule, then, less accidents might occur. But yeah, I left that there so everyone can see it. I get mine from Wild Organics or Flannery's. I'm not quite sure what that's linked to. It's probably a question that I asked, but I wasn't really looking. Are your repackaged mixes in a store in South Australia? So Karen, you'd actually have to check. Have a look on our site. If you look on Mad Creations, there is a list of some of the stockists. I haven't done an update lately. From memory, I think one of the Go Vita or Go Vita stores actually had it. Had products, but what products they stock, I'm not too sure. Okay, so thankfully, our first waffle is done. So I'm just going to get that out and over to there. And we'll just put on another one, but then I'll divide the others up. And down she goes. Alrighty. What else? Can these be frozen? Yes, they can. So again, with our recipes, we stick all the details on the bottom. I've just got a copy that I've got for my editor here. So the recipe is sugar-free. It's vegetarian with an option for vegetarian. It can be made ahead. So this batter can be made ahead. You could actually store that in the fridge. You could store that in the freezer and that as well too. I probably would recommend just putting it in the fridge and then baking them and then freezing them. It can be in the fridge for 4 days, cooked or uncooked. So that could be in the fridge for 4 days. These can be in the fridge for 4 days. we have freezer, and the cook time overall is 15 minutes. So, and that's, I think, pretty liberal. That's saying basically you can cook the whole batch in 15 minutes. So it depends on how you cook it. If you're going to do it in a cast iron pan and chuck it in the oven, then, you know, your prep time's like nothing. Because I even did that cauliflower, as I said, in 2 minutes in the microwave. So I would, you know, you could even put that probably in with the melted butter if you wanted to, and not even steam it. Just put it in with the butter, chuck it in the microwave, put it on medium heat for 2 minutes, and melt the butter and cook the cauliflower for 2 minutes at the same time. It's that easy. But yeah, just check on our site. If you can't see any ones specifically where you would find them in South Australia, then have a look on the Keto Eats website as well. Ooh, my screen just got really, really big. Okay, sounds yum. Oh, I love the t-shirt. Great t-shirt. Can you use cauliflower rice? Yes, you can use cauliflower rice. You could use frozen cauliflower or fresh cauliflower. Cauliflowers have come down in price. I have got some, not this week. It was $5, I think, but a couple of weeks ago I did get one for less than $3. So when they're at that sort of price, you can buy them, rice them, cut them into florets or whatever, freeze them, or use the frozen cauliflower and that as well as a cheaper alternative. That all works. Is any of the merch going to be available to buy? We've been umming and ahhing about that, and I should just put up a poll. Like, Dave wanted to do like tea towels and stuff like that. I was thinking like shopping bags and stuff, but I thought like shopping bags would be really cool if it's like, you know, saying something about low carb and that as well too. Like, you know, so that when you're out, you could be like, you know, I choose to eat low carb or whatever. But yeah, I'd like to know if that's sort of something that people would want. We did some aprons last year, I think it was, and I did get an apron with this on as well, just to feel the quality and that of it. These were Australian made and printed, so they weren't cheap. But yeah, we would definitely have a look at some of the merch. Not a lot, just to do usually with launches and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't like cauliflower much, but the mac and cheese is divine. Yeah, I agree, Karen. It's like, to me, if you eat this, like, I don't think even most of your kids would know, or big kids would know there's cauliflower even in it. It just gives that little bit of a texture to it. In saying that, if you are somebody who likes, like, either makes our pasta, you could use the pasta instead of the cauliflower in this. You could use low carb pastas that you buy. Like, I know there's some brands, and I even did make some the other day, but I can't remember what the brand is, sorry, that do the different shapes of pasta. Somebody else might be able to help me put the name of that brand onto the thread. But yeah, you could use real pasta in it if you didn't want to use the cauliflower. I just find the cauliflower is actually probably better in my opinion, but anyway, in saying that, I don't make it with the pasta. So usually I'm not doing this from across the way. But you can, when they're cool enough to touch, and I promise I will make one like curry or something like that in a second. But I'm just trying to show you this is just how easy it is to make them. Now, if you wanted to make these like tiny ones and that as well too, you could do that. So even like as little ones, you could probably like stick it in a wrap or something like that as well. That'd be nice. Is Bob's Red Mill available to buy somewhere? So every time I look at in the past, it's not available, so I gave up. Okay, so Bronwyn, some Coles do stock Bob's Red Mill, and so do some IGAs. So depending on where you live and what's local to you, have a look at Super Richies and IGAs. They have them, or your Coles supermarket in the gluten-free aisle. Alternatively, Elite Health Supplements is one that we get it from. It's our local, but they actually do sell online as well, and they're Australian. So yeah, you can get that. The other brand that you can use that is still really good is Lotus Pantry. And again, I don't even think I have any in the house at the moment, but I've used that one plenty of times. It's another good one. I just find Bob's tends to be cheaper for a bigger bag, and because of the volume that I use a lot. I have tried some different brands and not been quite so fussed, but they're even harder to find. It's just the flavour, because with gluten-free keto baking, you can sometimes push that baking powder higher than you would normally use in a general application, and that's why you want to have ones that aren't bitter tasting. Hi from Australia. Hi, Angeline. I'm an Aussie too. Can you tell? Okay, I'm just going to grab a bowl down in here. Good if I do have mixing bowls there, but anyway, we'll just grab one of these. I am going to, how about we try some of this peanut butter first? And I will try and soften it first before I add the mixture. So you can imagine, like, these would be quite similar if you've had like okonomiyaki and stuff like that. Like, you could put like cabbage and stuff like that in it, but like you could add any of those sort of Asian flavors and that as well to it. Okay, so that's pretty soft, so I should be pretty safe with this. I'm just going to chuck in any amount. Mix that through. But like, you know, different chilies and stuff like that. Like, so a little bit of sriracha would be nice in this. The sambal olik. Yeah, it still needs a little bit longer. Okay, so this one should be cool enough to touch. So you can see these are like got a nice crisp texture. If I do that in your mum, you can hear that now, can't you? Because I've got a microphone on me. So you can see like they actually hold together really, really well. So they'd be great, like I said, if you wanted to have like syrup and stuff like that, or make them into dippers. So I actually did do them in the breadstick ones, and you could do them for like dippy eggs. So if you don't know what a dippy egg is, it's the soft-boiled egg, but I always called them dippy eggs growing up. I'm pretty sure that's a name that people call them as well. But yeah, that would be pretty good. The bottom, like rather than having an English muffin or toast, you know, the old sourdough and stuff like that for your, what do you call it? God, I'm having a brain fart. You know, this bacon and eggs with your hollandaise. Anyway, eggs Benedict. It's because I don't go out enough, hey? Yeah, if you use it as like the base for your eggs Benedict, perfect. These would also be amazing with some different salts. So if you have got our new Rubber Dub ebook, which I've got a copy of it over here. I know you all actually ask about printing ebooks. I've actually got a couple of examples of different ones that I've printed here. They're all ones I've done as well. I've got tons of ebooks printed. But this one actually has some flavoured salts in here. So things that would be really good with this one too, if you've got it. We've done some finishing salts. So the chili and lime salt would be amazing. The jalapeno salt would be amazing. And these finishing salts are so good because I've actually given you methods on how to do them in the oven, the dehydrator, and even a microwave. So would you believe you can actually do a finishing salt like in 5 minutes in your microwave, leave it out to dry a little bit more, and you've got some nice ones. The bourbon and bacon salt would be amazing with it. The seedy mustard salt, and even like there is a sweet onion cider dressing in this book that would go amazing with it as well. Lemon and paprika salt, even celery salt. That's one that you can get from the supermarket, but you can also make your own so easily. And that is really not staying there. Anyway, they can stay there. So yeah, like nice salty flavours on the outside of these would be so good. But yeah, like I said, they're really nice and crisp on the outside. But then they're that beautiful waffly texture in the middle. It's not like describing. It's not like a bread. It's not dry or floury. They're just really super flavoursome. And I actually love these from the fridge. So put them in there and just have them, you know, for easy meals. So it could be part of a salad. They could be diced up. They could even be diced up and then fried in a pan with cheese or something like that for the best freaking croutons ever. Ooh, I'm going to have to try that. I actually wanted to do, I don't have time right now to photograph it all, but I actually wanted to update our Caesar salad, and that would be perfect. So I might have to freeze some and do some like cheesy ones. Because like I said, if you've ever seen me do it, I did a live where you just grate cheese and oil. So you put the oil in the pan, dice that up, throw it in the pan, throw grated cheese on it, turn it over. And you know how you get like in a toasty, where you get that cheesy, crispy bit, like when we do cheese crisps, it gets all those cheesy, crispy, tasty, salty edges and that on it, and that would be like amazing in croutons. So these other maker, I just thought, the churro makers, they would be perfect in a churro maker. Okay, so this one might be a bit softer with the peanut butter. I mean, it was an experiment. I didn't try it. But as I said, this could also just be done over the top. Peanut butter and bacon, so you could actually like do that and some extra bacon on it. I don't know, eggs. That would be nice, like with ground chicken or something like that. So chicken mince, fried, a little bit of that, and then on top of that with some Thai herbs or something like that, and a gooey egg. Whole meals. So you can see like simple things like this could be made, prepped, put into either vacuum seal bags, which I'm a big fan of at the moment. I freeze things all nice and flat. Is a Ziploc bag, or just in a container and in your fridge or in your freezer. Easily straight from there into a toaster or a flat toasted sandwich maker with fillings or without, added to a meal to actually bulk out the meal. If you don't eat a lot of things with protein powder, and I will say I'm actually a big fan of it, and there is a really good reason. And it can be like whether it's whey protein or you want to not have the whey side of it and use egg white protein or pea protein, whatever your protein ones are. I just like to eat the extra protein because it actually gives me such a more fulfilling feeling. So you actually feel fuller for longer eating more protein. In saying that, we do have the interesting protein corn chips and stuff like that too, if you've seen my recipe for that. So you could do it with chicken. We remember when we did chicken flour. God, I've done some crazy things in my time. I was thinking that, wish I had one. Oh, the board. Okay, got it. T-shirt, shopping bags, please. Is it the Slendia pasta? No, it wasn't the Slendia one. It's one of the low carb ones. That is. Dave's just giving this. So we have done some shopping bags. I'll just show you. So the pasta, I think it was one that I got it from Yo Keto, but it was one that actually I think it has gluten flour or something like that, and I think it had some gluten. I know there's like some new ones that I haven't tried, like Fet Nui and stuff like that, or Nui, Noodly, I don't know. There's some different brands. I don't get time to actually make it enough stuff using different products there. But yeah, use any. Like if you wanted to use a Slendia and that in it, you could do that. I actually used to make in cafes years ago amazing chicken noodle cakes. I'll show you that bag in a second. That had you would, ironically, I'm going to do something with curry, aren't I? Yeah, and Thai curry paste. I used to do chicken, so fresh chicken. Yeah, so this peanut butter's definitely made it softer. So if you're going to put like some of that in it, I would do, look, it's really soft. I would do a lot less than what I did. So I did about a tablespoon, which is probably a bit overzealous. And with these waffles too, by the way, I would only eat normally a quarter. I have given you the macros, and the macros, like honestly, for one of these sizes, so for one that size, which I'll tell you what will fill you up and make you feel very full, is 220 kcal, 2 net carbs, 14 grams of protein and 19 grams of fat. And the fat is really dependent on like the dairy that you use and the bacon, because like some bacon is a lot leaner. Like if you're using bacon and stuff like that, or if you're using chicken, whatever, it is going to affect the macros. So I was going to actually add a bit of curry. So what I was saying is, if I used to make these noodle cakes in a cafe that were really popular, and they were basically the same sort of noodles like a Slendia noodle, but they weren't. They were like, I don't even know what they were called, like vermicelli noodles, but they were like soft. And I used to, yeah, they were soft. I used to soak them, that's right. I used to make them soft. Then you put them in with curry and chicken and vegetables and some cheese, and you just fry them like a rissole. And honestly, like you put cubes of cheese in it, and then you get like that little pocket of cheese with like some chicken breast pieces all through it and that curry flavour, and it was always amazing. So, and you can add, like back in the day, used to add rice or lentils or stuff like that, but you could use hemp seeds or anything that you wanted into it now. Okay, so we're going to do some curry one. See if I can do a curry one with, I think I'll probably stuck about a teaspoon of curry in it. I'll at least taste them and I can give you feedback on them. But I definitely need a little bit more of that in there. So I won't cook these all and bore you all, but what I will look at, and I'm probably drying that out because I'm, adding more things to this mixture, but anyway. Let's see how we go with this one. Don't have a waffle maker? Pancake. Just in a pan. You can do that. Toasted sandwich makers are also amazing for that too. So where you got the top and the bottom, scoop it on, push your little glider things on the side so you get it sitting flat, and then just rest it down and you'll cook both sides at the same time. You can do that with heaps of things. Like chicken schnitzels and stuff like that are really good for that as well. Crumb steak, crumb pork, whatever. Obviously crumbing with pork rinds, flax meal, almond meal, parmesan, whatever you're crumbing it with for a low carb option. But yeah, toasted sandwich makers are really good for those sort of things as well. Are you having these for tea, Dave? I can't even think if he's eaten. I think he's eaten some roast pork. He's probably fine. We don't tend to eat tea here. I've gotten a Lotus brand from the local health food store. Yeah, the Lotus brand is good for a lot of low carb products. So I'm actually looking across and I can see them there. I've got some flax seeds and stuff, but I don't have any of the baking flour. So yeah, if anyone's just starting now, you will actually get the full ingredients on there. And basically, like I say, it's got conventional and thermal methods. So all our books have both methods. And in this book, again, we've done some air fryer ones. Keto Mojo had a lot of air fryer ones, but I have pulled back on things like that. We're just trying to cram too much stuff onto a page. It's just silly. I'm not getting people saying, oh my God, I've been like using your cookbooks for all my air fryer. I love it. So it's like, really, it's a lot of effort and every recipe gets tested more than once in those items. And as you can see, I've got like mixers, air fryers. I've got another one. I've got an Instant Pot. I've got the XXL grills. I've got thermal cookers of different brands and stuff like that. So we do a hell of a lot of testing behind all of these recipes and have done it for now 12 cookbooks and yeah, a lot of ebooks. So basically you just steam in cauliflower until it's softened. So I have said that I place the florets into a bowl with 2 tablespoons of water, cover in cling film and microwave on medium high for 2 minutes. You can do this however you want. If you're a steamer and a stove, that's Stormy having a chirp for you. And I blocked Dave off. La, 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 la. So he's walking under the camera, so you might get lucky with seeing his reflection there. And there's the thermal method, of course, that you can steam it in there as well too. But look, honestly, you could chuck it in a frying pan with a little bit of water and just heat it. You can probably put it on your toaster maker. You can probably stick it in your waffle maker and cook it for a little bit. This one looks like it's coming out well. So, it smells good. So basically what I'm trying to get is this could be cooked in so many different ways that you'll love it. So the thermi method is basically 400 mils of water in there, steam it at 120 for 7 minutes, and then melt your butter in there for 3 minutes, add everything, mix into the waffle maker. So for those of you who missed, you could cook this like in a fry pan, in a skillet, in a cast iron pan, half on the gas and half in the oven. You could cheesy all the top of it. You could do it as a big pizza base with toppings. You could do it as the base for a casserole. You could do it for a topping for a casserole. I'm making stuff up now, but like it would work for all of these things. It is just such a versatile recipe, but I do say in this that I do recommend not substituting the basis of it, like all of the seasoning and all the seasonings you can change, but like the egg and everything like that. I try and say like keep it like that, because the more options that I give you, because we do a hell of a lot of dietary different variations and stuff like that, you're just stepping further away from what the recipe was intended to be. I am going to be doing some completely different style recipes in the new year. So We have said in the past we're not printing any of our books again, which is still the way we're thinking. And this book will actually be really dependent on pre-sales, and we will be definitely reducing the excess stock that we get. Our house is at full capacity. I don't want to go into storage because storage, you are paying more insurances and stuff like that on having stock stored elsewhere. You are also running the risk of water damage, smell, cockroaches, all of those sort of things. I'm just like a low-key, easygoing kind of person, and I don't like stress. So we'll just do a small batch, and I want to sell out. So I've said it before, Keto Eats was when we first said we were going to go small batch and sell. We would definitely be sold out now of Keto Eats had we not had some issues and were given quite a bit of excess stock as a kind of like insurance to make us happy after we'd sent a lot of books out and some books were flipped in the pages. So this book will have possibly have a lower print than everyone else, but the excess stock will definitely be lower than what we've ever printed before. So yeah, I would prefer to sell out. I like to be limited edition. I don't want to be sitting on a pile of cookbooks in 5 years' time when I want to retire. I'm like, oh my God, like what do I do to get rid of, Simply Delicious, because I've still like got 10,000 copies of it in my spare bedroom, so that's just not going to happen. So if you want the book, order it up, because after that we will be only just, like I said, just doing a few to hopefully get us through till the other book. Hopefully the other books will sell out too. So if you want a cookbook, you know where to look, okay? Okay, so the book itself is keto. There is 100 plus recipes in there. There is 100 brand new recipes. Some people like to ask me, is it new recipes? I don't keep recycling my old ones. We have used basics in the past in the same books. I think there's only like keto pasta, keto corn chips, the tortilla chips, and pastry. They're the only three that I've transferred over. Even for those of you who know, my ranch seasoning does make an appearance usually in the basic section, which is usually like 4 lines anyway or so. Well, not 4 lines, it's got a few ingredients, but you know what I mean, it's a small amount of space in it. It's not even in that, even though I do use, I say ranch in this one, but I've basically just said, like, you can use the one off the website. We've got it on the website as well. Or you can buy it, like there's different products on the market now, but I prefer to make all my own, but I don't want to have to keep giving you the same recipes for the same stocks and the same seasonings and stuff like that, or sauces and everything like that for every option in the book. So in all our books. So we've tried to minimize that. The recipes are more together, so when you're cooking a recipe, you're not flicking through all the different pages to find all these other components. Some will have a different part that will be in the book, or it can also say store-bought. So let's just say I've got Thai curry paste. If you're happy buying Volcom, or I don't even know all the brands. That was one I think I do know. It might be wrong, it might be right. But there is some different brands of curry paste. They have like seed oils and probably some rubbish in them and that. But if you're happy to buy them, then you can use those. Or you can make your own. This sort of thing, like you can see, like that's all I've got left of mine after I've made a couple of different things. I've made a couple of different kormas, I think, with it. You can put that into an ice cube tray, freeze it, put it in a Ziploc bag and label it. And then you've got curry paste ready to throw into any soup, chicken, fish, anything that you want at any moment's notice, and have a nice collection of some really nice flavours. And they're so easy to make. And again, I try not to give you crazy ingredients that are in these. I give you options for where to find them in the supermarket, because that's our main thing, is trying to get the vast majority of anything that could be found in a local supermarket. It depends on people's supermarkets or their online shopping, like for groceries online. I just mean as in Coles or Woolworths deliveries. So say like double acting baking powder, you can still buy the other one, but obviously I do have recommended brands. We've put a glossary in the book, so we always have that, with smart swaps for ingredients. So where there is an ingredient that I know that somebody mightn't have, like our Turkish eggs uses Aleppo pepper, which is not available from the supermarket. It's an amazing spice, but I've given you a tasty option that you can use that won't substitute on the flavour, because the whole thing for me, the crux of everything, is the end result of every dish. Okay, so I'm not going to say, oh yeah, just put a little bit of sumac in it because it's red, you know, and it'll look the same, or basically some flippant substitute. Our testers have tested these things with the substitutes because the majority of them, I don't think anyone had Aleppo pepper at home, but I do. So they're sort of things that, you know, they've worked, and, you know, I think even that recipe has a quote from one of our testers in there that, you know, like straight away it's like restaurant quality, amazing, you know, was basically having it, I think the next day or two later or something like that. Was happy to test it again when I said yes. So the whole thing is about, if you're going to substitute something, it's still got to be as good, in some cases better, because that's why we did one recipe for our blueberry pizza as a substitute. I loved it more than the original, but both are really good, so you got both in the book rather than just as a substitute. So yeah, there's all these new recipes. We've got conventional and thermal methods for those of you who don't know. It's an extension to Mojo. There's smart swaps. We've got the icons in there, so if you bought, I've got a copy of it here. Doubt you'll be able to see anything though from there. If you haven't seen before, let me just find one with lots of them. Our normal setups of our phone. Down the bottom, you'll be able to see some coloured dots at least. That is actually like icon legend, which we have like what they all mean in the book as well. So this particular recipe is dairy-free, nut-free, egg-free, sugar-free, vegetarian, vegan, can be in the fridge for 2 days, tells you how many days is in the one pot, and can be made ahead of time. So we've got all those. We've also added for some of the recipes, as I said earlier, some QR codes where you'll be able to see how I shape the rolls again, so that you can, when you see the consistency and the simple tips of using my hands, that will give you a little bit more confidence to cook all the recipes. Because the biggest thing that I want to say is about this book, it's like, if you look at the cover, the pictures that are on our socials at the moment, it says healthy. Yes, it's healthy. Easy. Yes, easy. Easy. Nearly we ended up on the cover twice. Real food. So real food ingredients. Simply, simple. That's what I'm trying to go. Delicious. Big letters, because that's what I want you to say every time you eat something. Oh my God, that was like delicious. Crazy delicious. Simply delicious. So delicious. Everything's delicious. And it's 100 low-carb recipes that you'll love to cook and eat. So love to cook means it doesn't take you all day. It doesn't wear you out. It doesn't, you know, it's not difficult. It's not hard steps. You're confident that you'll be able to make it exactly like the picture. Even my pictures, we all know that you can take a great photo. Some people can take great photos of food and things like that, and it can look so amazing. The ambience, the whole setting, everything like that. You can't really see the food, and it all looks so good. But you look at some things and they've got like stripes on pages and dots here, and it looks so nice. But it's like, I can't do that. I don't do that. So if you look through the book, you'll see even like the front cover, it's like got a picture of ribs on it. I'm like, that's probably a big no-no, but it's like, I'm just trying to show you that they're real simple dishes that you'll recognize and actually enjoy to cook and eat. The macros, which I went through before, there's macros for every serve. So where we've got waffles, it'll actually say the waffle, and the waffle I'm talking about is the whole waffle that you get out of it, and it tells you how many it makes. So if it say it makes 12 and you make 20, well then okay, well I'm gonna be under 2 net carbs for every waffle. So like, hello, I'll just eat 2, kind of thing. Well, don't think that, but you know what I mean. Like, it's you can actually go through and enter all of those ingredients into a macro calculator as well if you wanted to, and work out your own macros. They are a guideline. They're there just to help people and just try and make everything a little bit simpler, so that you've actually got how many it makes, how many macros for each portion or individual one of the things that you've made, has all of the dietary needs. It has in the notes, so we have an extensive notes for all of our recipes, where it'll actually tell you things like, in this one it says swap bacon for pickled mushrooms or olives for a vegetarian option. The whey protein isolate, I actually tell you why I put it in there, that it makes them crispy and light. I do not recommend substituting with any other flour. Like I said, you can choose any protein isolate that you prefer. Eat hot or cold. Use as a burger bun, toast them, or use them in place of bread for a tasty sandwich. I use homemade ranch dressing, homemade ranch seasoning, which you can find the recipe on the Mad Creations Hub. So even giving you a direction there where you can go there and use that. But as I said, you can use any seasonings and stuff like that in it. I want you to actually try and create your own things from these recipes and use them as a good solid base for easy family or home recipes. Okay, so let's have a quick questions. I think I'm pretty much done everything. Measures, I think I said for everybody that we've got US customary and metric. I have what do you call it, like a table at the back that actually has all more about the measures. Our oven temperatures now have 160 fan, 180 static, 375 Fahrenheit. We actually put all of those on there now so that you actually are cooking at exactly the right temperature. So whether you've got those different ovens, some of the ones where we've done things on a low heat, say for instance, I've actually added the gas mark, which I cooked on my gas cooktop, which is not a fancy one or anything like that. So it's just basic again. So it gives you that kind of confidence that you know, okay, well, it's taking a while to cook, but Megan says it's on gas mark 4. So I'll cook it on gas mark 4. You can turn it up, burn one, then try the next one. You know what I mean? So I think that's pretty much all I'd pop down on my little things. So you'll also know that at the moment we had some clearance stock. I think we've still got some of Keto Loco, which is our Gourmand World Best of the Best cookbook one. So we've got some of those where you can still get those at 25% off. And we've got some of the lunchtime ketos. So get in there and get them because we will be closing all those sort of sales before we go live with a new one. We've also got the 7-pack, including Simply Delicious, in our store now. If you order before midnight, the 20th of September, we will ship, and this is only within Australia. It does state it in the description of the thing. If you're in Australia, we'll actually ship yours, the 6 books now, and we'll send the other one separately when it arrives in October. Otherwise, if you're overseas, and that includes New Zealand, from anywhere else in the world, we will ship them all when the other book arrives in October. But you do get the ebooks for the 6 ebooks now, and when the other one is available, which will likely be available before we put it in the store, I'll make sure you guys get it into your email, and I'll send that back out again, so you actually get the you'll get the ebook before anybody else. Okay, so I'm done. I think I've said all that sort of stuff, and I've got some more mix that I'll just cook afterwards. But let's have a quick look at the questions. If you've got any questions, have a quick look. So I'm going to get off and get out of everybody's face. But I do hope that you would like to at least add a new little recipe, and like you can see that it's one that will actually be great for any time of the day, lunches, dinner, croutons for Caesar salads. Now let's have a quick look, because I don't think this is in order. I'll just move this over to here so I'm not looking away from you. We've got a lot of Thermi people. If you're a Thermi person, like the posts, well, because there's only like 15 likes on there at the moment, I'll be able to see like how many of you that are still watching are, you know, Thermi users. Because like I always underestimate, like I first and foremost, I'm always like a conventional cook. You know, we all grew up without them. And, but I find that, you know, they're obviously extremely useful, but I do love to use a bit of everything in my kitchen, if you hadn't noticed. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of Thermi people on here tonight. Shopping bags are cool. I thought shopping bags would be cool. I just have to find some that are good. No, yeah, I was going to show you this one. So I did this one with Keto Mojo. But I mean, these ones are good, but they're not like the wide ones, but they're a nice one that if you're going out shopping, you know, like you could be, I got my fancy bag. So all I did is I did a couple of the images from Keto Mojo and just did Mad Creations on it. But that sort of one style, I just think like the other ones for groceries might be better, or, you know, something like this or a cloth one might be just nice to take out. So if you're going to the markets or something like that, you could actually be, you know, having something about low carb or something like that on it. So when somebody's trying to sell you sourdough or potatoes. Is the recipe on the website? No, it's not, Karen, but I think you've got some responses to that, or maybe got some details out of what I've been talking about. It's in the new book. Thanks, Lucy. Egg and dippies. Oh, is that what you call it, Robin? So yeah, dippy eggs. I used to love them sometimes, and I'd hate them other times. It's always weird. So just quickly going. Is the book available to be posted to New Zealand? So Susan, yes, the book will be posted globally. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. The book will ship to there. So all you have to do is put in your address, and it'll come up with the postage at the time, depending on what you've got in your cart. So if you wanted 1 book, 2 books, 3 book, 4, because obviously it depends on whether you're selecting regular post, express post, and the products that are in there. Our books aren't cheap to post, and no, we can't absorb the cost in it, because in some cases the cost of postage to some countries is more than the book. The books weigh roughly around about 1 kilo, so they are a heavier and higher quality book than some, but you know, yeah, it's not cheap to post. We'd love to, you know, do free postage, but the cost to us is like not small. We actually do absorb a lot of the cost, because we also, if you've bought a book off us before, you'll see that we actually do a lot of excess packaging. So we put an insert in that's all padded inside, so that your book arrives to you as good as it is left here. Then it goes into the satchel, then it gets taped up, and you know, and if it's a bundle of books, it's in like a bundle of different bags, and each bag is like a couple of dollars. So yeah, it kind of all adds up. But yeah, we'll post everywhere, but it's not available yet. So pre-sales will begin at 7 p.m. on the 21st of September, which is Dave's birthday as well. Happy birthday, Dave. And we will go with the pre-sales for the final amount that we will print. Remembering this is a small batch, there won't be a huge excess of stock that we will order outside of the pre-sales. And between the end of pre-sales and when our book arrives, which is usually 2 to 3 weeks later. It's usually 2 weeks, but I will say 3 just to be on the safe side. Last time we had a few issues with COVID and borders, but I think we should be fine this time around, hopefully, fingers crossed. But there will always be something that might hold it up, because our books are proper bound. There is setting times and stuff like that for that spine to firm up and be suitable to ship, so that as soon as it arrives to us, we can open up our book and it not fall apart, if you know what I mean. Is the loco or something like that? That's the past. No, it's nothing like that. I can't remember. Like I know it's branded. Somebody said it, but anyway. I actually have some left over. Yes! What brand of curry did you use? It's Mad Creations. It's actually a recipe. So this one is actually a recipe from the book. So I make a lot of my own curry paste. If you look on the website, there is a few different ones for I think a red and green curry that we've got on there. This is a yellow one, so a Thai curry. Any books available in German? No, sorry, I've done them all only in English. We self-publish, so every book is at our cost. So at this stage, we go with the main following and stuff like that. It'd be great if, you know, we had enough people in Germany demanding our book. But again, I think that would be where you'd have a publisher and that to publish in multiple languages. I think we've gone through all the questions. So okay, so that is me. So yeah, 21st of September, the book will be on the website, ready to go. Pre-sales, you will get an immediate download of the ebook as soon as you purchase. The shipping dates will likely be within a few weeks after that. So I'm guessing at this stage it'll be mid to late October that we begin shipping, but well and truly ahead of Christmas, and ahead of that Christmas rush, I think, in postal as well. We ship globally. There is a limited bundle of the 7 books and that as well. The book will be available in paperback and in ebook. So with the paperback purchase, you get a complimentary ebook download straight away. If you order the ebook, you only get the ebook, and the ebook, it has a picture of a book on a tablet, so it's very easy to distinguish, and it has ebook in the title and lots of things saying ebook only. So hopefully you don't order the wrong one. We always do offer, just before we ship our books, the opportunity to upgrade if you bought the ebook and you wanted to get the book. But again, that would be dependent on whatever stock we have. So it's a limited run, and yeah, I just want to sell out. Like I said, we're sitting on too many books, and I'm not getting any younger. And I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so if anybody's got any questions, just add it into the thread. Thanks for joining me tonight. I hope you're all making your waffles. If you make it a different way, I want to see some pictures because I love to actually share them. We will have some giveaways and stuff like that over the next few days and that as well in the lead up to Simply Delicious, and might even have a special one for somebody to win the first copy. That would be nice. I have to think of something really clever. Okay, thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you all soon.